Do you have any funny stories with your time with Nirvana or with Kurt Cobain in particular?
Well, yeah, I mean, probably the weirdest, funniest story about Nirvana, and sometimes I forget to tell this, is one day I had a loft downtown on 2nd Avenue, right next door to the Sub Pop offices. And one day I got a call from Bruce Papp. He's like, Chris and Kurt are here, and they've got this thing that they want you to photograph. And I'm like, right now? I'm like, yeah, it's this cat that they have, and they have to come over right now. And I'm like, well, okay, send them over. So they come upstairs, and I grab my Nikon and put a roll of film in it. And they've got this kitten, this black kitten. And they're like, oh, if you do this thing with its eyes, it's so hilarious. And we want to do that for a single cover or something. So if you can get in there and get this picture, and we'll do this, and it makes this face. And I'm like, okay. And we try with this poor kitten. They try and do this thing for like 15 minutes. Finally, I'm like, guys, done. We're over here. Like, fucking lay off the bong, all right? Like, just leave, you know? This is pretty early on, you know, and I really didn't quite know them yet. Like, so, yeah, they had a lot of ideas like that.
So what happened to the kitten?
Oh, no, I mean, they didn't, we weren't abusing it or anything. And they were, you know, it was just like, oh, okay, I don't know. One night they were sitting around stoned or whatever, and this kitten made a face, and then they wanted to recreate that for, you know, this is before you had smartphones, you know, kind of thing. So they wanted me to try and of course, whatever it was, they could not get it to do it. I have a whole roll of film of this kitten with its eye, and they're like, no, that's not it. It has to be I'm like, all right, you guys are done.
Have you ever published those photos anywhere?
No, it would be funny to do it. They're not very good photos. It just, you know, they don't, without the story, they don't mean anything.
I hear you. Do you have the photos on you by any chance?
I'd have to dig, yeah.
Hey, no worries. So, where was that kitten from?
I think it was Kurt's girlfriends at the time or something, yeah.
When they walked in, what was your impression?
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think they'd driven it all the way up from Tacoma or something, too, so, on a cat carrier.
They drove up from Tacoma to Seattle just to get the photos of that cat?
Well, they were doing business at Sub Pop, and then I don't know.
So what did you tell Bruce at the end of that, when you didn't get the photo they wanted?
It's like, that didn't work out, you know.
Do you remember what year that was in?
It must have been, I want to say, it must have been 89, 90 maybe. 89, probably late 89.
So, okay. So Bleach was released, I think, June 15th.
Bleach had already been out.
Okay, cool. In general, what were the guys like? Because I heard that Chris in particular was actually a big jokester. Do you have any funny stories?
Yeah, I mean, Chris was, Chris definitely liked pranks and was just, first time I met Chris Novoselic, was out at Bob Whitaker, one of his tour manager's cabin out on the Washington coast. And we were all down on the beach at night having a fire, and all of a sudden this big tall guy shows up with like no clothes on, runs down, jumps through the fire, and runs off screaming down the beach. And I'm like, what the hell? And Bob's like, it's Chris Novoselic. He's the bass player in Nirvana. Well, I'm like, okay.
And did this happen before you actually saw him?
This must have been before. Let's see. Yeah, I can't remember what we were doing out there. So I may have seen them. I'd seen them, but I hadn't actually met Chris. So it's like, yeah.
From speaking with you last time, I remember you sharing with me that, you know, over time you and Kurt became friends. When did your friendship with him start to develop?
You know, we just respected what each other did and were kind of part of the scene. We were good acquaintances, and you know, we just liked what each other did. We were both a little shy, so sometimes kind of repelled like magnets do, two magnets. But, and then of course he was, you know, living elsewhere and traveling the world. And it was, and also he had a, you know, serious drug problem that I did not want to be a part of. So it was hard for anybody to be friends with him in a way, with that going on. But, you know, I mean, he like, I have a camera that he gave me to figure out, a 3D realist camera on the wall over here. And
is it that black one over there in the corner?
In that stereo, in that leather case right there. And, I have people that want to buy that as the Tibetan flags rolled up behind it. That one there.
Wow. When did he give that to you?
Well, he wanted me to figure it out about 3-4 months before he died. He just loaned it, say, hey, can you figure out how to put film through this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I think I might be able to. It was an old process at that point.
Wow.
And then, of course, so.
Did you, I guess, ever figure it out?
No, yeah. I was not really that interested, so, personally. Yeah. And the lighter in front of it, Eddie Vedder gave that to me.
Let me see.
The camera lighter in the front there.
That mini camera's a lighter?
Yeah. That was Eddie Vedder's.
If I may ask, can you show me some of these stills you have here?
Sure.
So what is exactly here?
This is just old stuff that I'm photographing or scanning. My scanner broke, unfortunately, but scanning for...
Is this from the scene, like the grunge?
Yeah, no, this is all grunge stuff. Oh yeah, here's Eddie Vedder, like hanging at the Drop in the Park, that big show.
Oh, cool, and that's the blown up version right there.
Yeah.
And if I may ask, what is the purpose of having these laid out like this?
What?
Like, what is the purpose of having them like laid out like this column?
When you're in a dark room, you would take dark room would be red light or orange light, of course, and you would take a blank piece of paper. You would lay your negative over it like that, shine a light on it, and you would then develop it, and you would get yourself a proof sheet. So then the proof sheet shows you each individual frame, and then from there you would choose one to go print.
That's so cool. Do people ever want to just purchase the proof sheets as is?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
That's so cool. Because the proof sheets themselves, it's kind of its own art form.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see the succession of images.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's kind of like a modern camera roll, but like in a laid out version.
No, this is kind of a wreck right now. But this is what I'm doing is going through and just picking out images, and I'm probably gonna have 1,000 pictures that I need to boil down to 200 or 250 for the next book.
Well, you got to get some of those cat photos in the next book.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
No worries. What's in this pile over here?
That's just some work prints from the next step once you scan is then to make small prints that I will edit from. There's Eddie in Boston.
How recently was this?
That was 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any of your wedding photos in here?
There's what I just Kurt and Everett at the hotel room or at the hotel lobby.
This is during Reading?
Yeah, afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Everyone was getting hammered. It's Tad in London.
That's a great photo.
There's Nirvana out in the field.
That's so cool.
Final shoot. Green River. Soundgarden.
Do you ever get nostalgic looking at these photos?
No. Sometimes. Just... I still have to sort of just look at them objectively so often that, I can't... sometimes I'm looking through stuff that's not...
Is that Albini?
That is Steve Albini.
Really?
The last Big Black show, yeah. That's Mark Arm. Kurt was at that.
Yeah, Steve actually told me that he met Kurt it might have been this show, at a Big Black show when at the end of the show, Kurt asked for a part of his broken guitar. That's Nirvana again, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe for more. All the videos on this channel are original. I'm the one conducting all the interviews and editing all the videos together. So if you guys like what you see and you want to support, the best way to do so is honestly just to subscribe. Lots more to come.